Hello and welcome to my channel, where I, Rose, write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction. If you like what you hear, please consider dropping a big like down below and subscribing. A comment would be great too! If you don't know what to comment, tell me your favorite character in the world of Miraculous. My two favorites have got to be Cat Noir and Marinette. They are also my two favorites to write dialogue for. Also, Cameron is back voicing Victor the photographer. I will be voicing Adrienne and Marinette. Without further ado, please enjoy Chapter 7, Modeling.
Yes, Adrienne. Just like that. Good. Now hold that pose. Alright, now. Like you smell the most delicious croissants in all of Paris.
His photographer Vincent instructed. Adrienne switched his pose to a more wistful gaze, looking at the Paris scenery.
Good. You are perfection.
Today his photo shoot was at the Trocadero Fountain, one of the most popular tourist destinations in Paris. It was a stunning view to behold as geysers exploded from the fountain, catching the light in the most fascinating way. From where they were shooting, the Eiffel Tower was in the background. This would make for some aesthetically pleasing photos. Adrienne's father was sure to love them, and he didn't show much appreciation for anything. As they passed, girls stood and gawked at the young model. It didn't faze him, though. He was used to it. After all, his face was in every magazine and was also plastered across Paris on nearly every billboard. While modeling, Adrienne even gave out a few autographs to those who asked. Marinette was sitting on a bench nearby and would occasionally look up, hoping to catch a glimpse of Adrienne. He was modeling the newest line his father, the most esteemed fashion designer in Europe, was planning to release in the next month. It was an autumn line, so there were a lot of warm-toned colors. The young model's sweater was a burnt orange shade that complemented his golden skin and beautiful amber hair. Around his neck was placed a burgundy scarf tied in a delicate knot. His pants were a forest green denim, dressed with a burgundy woven belt to match the scarf. The details of the outfit were so delicate and intricate. Marinette drew her own designs vigorously. She loved watching photo shoots because they never ceased to inspire her. Adrienne caught the blooming artist staring and waved her over. Marinette was shocked he even noticed her, but she walked over to him. Hey, Adrienne! I love the outfit. You look amazing. I mean, it looks amazing. Not that you don't too. He smiled his crest-white smile at her. She giggled relieved. Thanks, Marinette. He always overlooked her stumblings. He thought it was incredibly cute.
Ah!
Victor interrupted their interaction.
You are the aspiring designer in young Adrienne's class, correct?
He knew her? She didn't quite remember when they had met. Then it hit her. He took their class photo to help relieve Julika of her photo curse. Yes, sir. Nice to see you. Marinette, she said, introducing herself in case he had forgotten her name. She offered her hand to shake his. He grasped her hand, camera in the other, and let out a gasp. He suddenly kneeled at her feet, pointing the camera up at her.
Adrienne is perfection,
he said emphatically, almost as if stating the obvious. Marinette agreed, but definitely wasn't going to voice that aloud. She wasn't sure if the photographer wanted her to respond, so she just waited. He then got up and grabbed her shoulder.
You are perfection.
Before Marinette could utter another word, Victor nudged Marinette next to Adrienne and snapped a few candid photos.
Yes, this is what I have been missing. The spark, the looks, the eyes.
He hooked an arm around both of the flustered teens.
You two will be the envy of all Parisians. Here.
He threw some clothing at Marinette, presumably from Gabriel Agreste's Woman's Autumn line. He ushered her towards a place she could change out of her light pink overalls. Are you sure, sir? I mean, I'm no model like Adrienne. I've never done it before, and... She trailed off. She bit her lip out of concern.
I know perfect when I see it. Ora vai, velocemente.
The photographer nearly shoved her into the dressing area. It wasn't quite a room, just a couple of curtains to block her from view. In the bundle, Victor had handed her a strapless, high-low dress in the same color scheme as Adrienne's outfit. The dress was burgundy on top and a light brown on the skirt, cinched tightly at the waist to define her nearly non-existent hourglass figure. She was also given some burgundy pumps to pull the entire ensemble together. Marinette rarely wears heels, so she walked out of the dressing area looking like Bambi learning to walk for the first time. She stood next to Adrien, trying not to look too clunky. Wow, Marinette. Adrien's eyes all but popped out of his face. You look amazing. Those colors really suit you.
You really think so?
Her face was set aflame by his compliments. He gave her a nod in affirmation and brushed the bangs out of her face.
Okay, children. Ready? And pose!
He gave some specific direction before pursing his lips, puzzled. Is something wrong? Adrien questioned, being slightly worried by his expression.
It's all wrong.
Victor ran to different sides of the teams to try to see them from a new angle.
Aha! I found it. Miss Marinette, would you mind taking your hair down?
She realized she still had her hair in her signature pigtail style. Oh, sure, no problem. She giggled slightly. She unwrapped her pigtails and ran her fingers through her midnight blue hair to untangle it. She shook it out and it fell pin straight, cascading past her shoulders. How's that? Adrien was beside himself with feelings that had been growing for his friend. Beautiful. I'm sure we are going to get some beautiful shots. What was happening to him? He had only had feelings for Ladybug, and now he was seeing Marinette in a whole new light. He had serious feelings for this girl. Last night, on the balcony, she was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen, with a heart to match. He still remembered her appearance as the moonlight caressed her dainty figure. He felt his knees get weak at just the thought. The two teens laughed, and Victor was able to grab some great pictures.
These are wonderful,
he said, checking the pictures on the camera screen.
Now, how about the kiss?
Marinette blinked, stunned. A kiss?
Of course. The fans of Adrien will go crazy.
Adrien could see the conflict on Marinette's face. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. I can tell you aren't comfortable. He squeezed her hand, reassuring her that it's okay. She nodded, thankful for him addressing her concerns. Victor, sir, Marinette spoke up. I don't quite feel comfortable. I mean, Adrien and I aren't even dating. I wouldn't want to send the wrong message to anyone. I don't think it would bode well for any of us. She was proud of herself for standing up for her feelings. She truly did want to kiss him, but not like this. Definitely not with an audience including everyone who would buy the magazine. Adrien nodded in agreement. Marinette's right. I'm sure there are other poses we can do, right? He draped an arm around her shoulders. Marinette strived not to look tense, but even though they had nearly kissed once, his presence still made her slightly uneasy. Victor put a hand on his chin and rubbed it thoughtfully.
I understand, miss. My apologies. I was caught up in the moment. Fret not. Pose how you are both comfortable. The shots will turn out beautiful regardless.
There were some whimsical shots of him spinning her around as if they were dancing. Some where they just gave their best model smolders. Even one where he cradled her face and kissed her forehead.
Bellissimo! I will send you the prints as soon as I finish with him.
The esteemed photographer strode away, still looking at the images in his camera. You were great, Marinette. I had so much fun modeling with you. Adrien decided to walk with Marinette instead of riding home with the gorilla. Yeah, no problem. I was really nervous, but it turned out to be fun. You're a natural. Photo shoots are usually pretty boring, but they are much better when you're with me. Marinette's cheeks turned to cherry blossom pink. He didn't have to say that. He could have just said that he liked having company during photo shoots, but he said that they are better with her, Marinette. Well, I'd love to come anytime you'll have me. She backtracked. If that's okay with your father, that is. I'm sure he won't mind too much. Besides, I'd read any magazine that you're in. Oh, hush, you know you're gorgeous. Her eyes went wide. No getting out of this one. I mean... He playfully nudged her arm and gave her a wink. Thank you, Marinette. You are too. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed Chapter 7. Chapter 8 is on the way. If you liked what you heard, please like and subscribe. And tell a friend. Tell your mama. Tell your weird neighbor down the street. Just kidding. Don't do that. As always, stay miraculous. And now, time for some bloopers. You really think so? Her face was set aflame by his compliments. Her face was set aflame by his compliments.
He gave her a nod and affirmation? You never read that.
I know, but I keep hearing the cats. I'm going to keep saying it until I don't.
I thought you were like, say your line. And I'm like, I'm
No.
not there yet.
No. Her face was...
I'm trying to get back into it.
Her face was set aflame by his compliment. Cameron, stop!
She was reaching for it.
Stop it! Okay. Her face was set aflame by his compliments. Jesus Christ!
You're the one who got her the bell collar.
Okay. Her face was set aflame by his compliments. Victor ran to different sides of the teams to try to see them.
Ow! She attacked me!